Hey, it's Klayton, and I'm back for episode 2 of Ask Celldweller. Pretty overwhelming response from you guys. More questions than I could possibly answer, potentially in my lifetime, but we're going to get through some of them today. Thank you for submitting video, and we've got questions on YouTube and on Facebook, hundreds upon hundreds, and some really great ones. So let's get to them.
Hi Klayton, I have a question for you. How do you know Blue Stahli?
I know Blue Stahli because Blue Stahli actually knew me. So the story goes like this. I had an assistant in my studio at the time, and he was interacting with Brett on an audio forum. Brett was living in Arizona at the time. My assistant had said, hey, this guy's a fan of your work, and he would love to come to your studio and be an assistant and learn anything you want to teach him. So it took months for me to actually even be open to the idea of having somebody come into my studio and have me teach them, because I've been pretty protective about all that. But I finally was open to the idea after I heard a clip of Brett's remix of Own Little World. It's time to go! So once I heard that, I said, wow, this kid's pretty talented. Let's get him in here. So Brett flew out, we had a meeting, and that's all it took was one meeting, and I think Brett went back and packed up his stuff and he moved here. So he came into my studio really to be an assistant, and I started teaching him how I do time correction on audio, on drum loops and guitars and things like this, and taught him how to track guitars, and just started teaching him my methods really so that he can help me make music faster. And after only a few weeks, I realized this guy's too talented to just sit here and chop up audio for me. He needs to be writing his own music. So I started teaching him how to produce the way I would produce so that he can write his own songs. And then I started producing his music, and the rest is history. He hasn't left. He's probably wanted to many times, but I won't let him.
Hey, Celldweller, I was just wondering, you ever planning to come down under?
So it's not really a question of whether I want to or plan to come to your city, country, or town, to all of you all over the world. It's more the question of priorities and my time. So right now I am extremely busy in the studio and with my companies and building all of that, and that doesn't leave me a whole lot of time to tour. So I'll revisit that question in 2015. I thought time travel was possible. Well, even if it's not, I am very much a future guy. So I'd say 2514. And why? My friends in Scandroid are from that era, and I kind of want to visit them and see what the world is going to be like in 500 years. To me, the future is much more exciting than the past or the present. Well, that's a great mystery because I'm not completely familiar with the concept. I don't remember having spare time since I was about 8 years old. That might have been the last time I remember having nothing to do. Since then, I've been a pretty busy guy, so if I take breaks or I do anything in my spare time, it's usually to watch a movie or catch up on some Archer or, you know, Breaking Bad or something like that.
Hey, Klayton, had a question for you. Check it out. I know that you hate these old projects of these CDs kind of like this. And that. But some of us got our start listening to stuff like that. That's how I learned how to make digital music and do whatever I'm doing today. Are you ever planning on doing any remixes of that stuff? Could you bring yourself back to relive some of those and remix them?
Firstly, let me say I appreciate the fact that you have been listening to me for that long and that you're still aware of the fact that I'm alive. Thank you. The short answer is no.
Hey, Celldweller. In addition to electronic production and other stuff like that you do, how many instruments do you play?
That's a very good question. In addition to electronics, none. I'm one of these guys who's like a jack of all trades but master of none. I play a lot of different instruments, really so that I can fit them into a song or make a new sound. I actually can't count how many instruments I can play because I failed math. But I can tell you that I have played the violin before, I have played the trombone before, and I've never had any kind of formal training. And it was really because I had an idea that I wanted these sounds in a song. So I picked them up and figured out how to make noise with these instruments. And that's why I use them. So really, almost any instrument I can get my hands on, I will try to make some sound with, although I'm not really formally trained, and I probably would never go on record saying that I play that instrument. All the credit has to go to my mom. I spent many years in her basement making music, or attempting to. So she started dubbing me a Celldweller, and later on I actually just shortened that and became Celldweller. Made perfect sense. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of Ask Celldweller. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, like or share this. I want to hear your questions, so submit them in the comments below, or you can hit this link in the moon with your YouTube video asking me a question. Until next week, it's Klayton.